This one strategy, when done correctly, will increase your leads, your sales, your revenue, and your profit. Now, that's a pretty big promise. And yes, but it's also really an underutilized strategy. And when we help our clients inside of Well-Oiled implement this, they see big results in as little as 7 days. So, not enough small business owners know their numbers. They don't know what numbers to actually track. They often track vanity numbers. So they're tracking, but they're tracking followers and comments and shares, and it has nothing to do with, anything that truly impacts their bottom line. So in this episode, we're going to be diving into this critical topic of data and data that directs you to make the next big move in your business. So understanding your business's financial health through data such as revenue, profit, right? It's not just important, but it's essential for making informed decisions. So I am a business consultant. And when somebody asks me a question and I'm missing some of these numbers, I can't answer it. I need to know, what was your revenue? What was your profit? What's your percentage of labor to revenue? I need to know some of these details, right? So we're going to explore how staying updated with your financials, what does that look like? Leveraging the expertise of a good CPA. Lots of you have CPAs, but is it a good CPA, right? Have you outgrown your CPA? And then increasing the frequency of data tracking. Increasing the frequency can actually really help you significantly impact the success. So let's dive into number one, the importance of regular financial updates. So first and foremost, the two big numbers, we need revenue, we need profit. We need to know what was left over. Was anything left over, right? So I used to, back in the day, I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years, and I'm really sad to tell you that I was on a budget by saying, let's see what's in my checking account. Okay, there's 12,000 left. Really want to buy this program for 5,000? I have enough money, and I would do it, right? And then payroll would come out and I would go, oh, shoot, I forgot about Friday's payroll. I forgot about the credit card statement. That is how I was making money decisions. Now, I will tell you, I was not that successful financially when I was spending money this way. So we need to have regular check-ins. You need to know your profit and loss at a minimum of once a month. Now, I know it usually by the 7th of the current month. So let me give you an example. So by May 7th, I should have April's financials. Okay. Now, when I get to May 7th, I already know roughly what my revenue is. I'm not completely shocked. I am tracking that actually on a weekly basis so I can see where am I trending. Am I going to be short this month? Am I going to be ahead this month? Is this looking good where I might be able to hire? I might be able to do something. Or am I going to be tight and I'm going to feel it? So when you are tracking, when you see this information, you can see very clearly it's going to direct me to say, I don't have extra money to spend, or wow, we're in a great financial situation where I could hire, I could give that raise to the employee who's just been working so incredibly hard and making a difference in the business, right? So it's not just about getting the numbers, looking at the numbers, getting the profit and loss, right? But actually understanding what it means, okay? Now, a good CPA should not only be sending you this information proactively, but they should be taking the time to explain. Okay. I have learned the hard way that there are proactive CPAs and there are reactive CPAs. A reactive CPA is not that helpful. It's like, hey, you overspent this month. Great. Thank you. I feel it. I see it. Yes, the money is not there. I get it, right? Proactively, the CPA is going to share with you trends, what they're seeing, what they're noticing. Hey, we were a little tight last month. Let's make sure we cut down a certain few areas of expenses. Now, another thing, a phrase that I love from Dave Ramsey, he says, act your wage. So I actually had a client that came to me and told me that she was overspending by $20,000 a month every month. And she was just 1 month away from running out of her cash reserves. Here's the problem. She wasn't changing her behavior. She had the data. She was not allowing it to direct her. So she wasn't changing her behavior. She was spending like she could spend. And unfortunately, she couldn't, and she was feeling it. So you've got to not just look at the data, but let it direct you and then act your wage. If you're no longer making 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, that means your spending habits need to change as well. Okay. Number 2, I want to talk about the risks of infrequent data tracking. So tracking data, right, but not doing it often enough might be your problem. So here's an example. If you're waiting 4 weeks, you're waiting for the whole month, and then you get the data that you're short money, right? That might be a little too late. You may be missing out on critical insights that could be saving you time, saving you money, right? Significantly changing the impact of your day to day. So those additional 3 weeks could have filled you in with some missed opportunities or some uncaught mistakes. If you're overspending in something on week 1, wouldn't it be nice to know week 1 versus finding out we did it 4 weeks in a row? Okay. So here's an example of how this happened. Now, we had somebody in our program who did a strategy we taught, and she made $12,000 additional revenue in the month of March, which is so exciting. So April 29th, random date, but April 29th, I thought of her and I said to her coach, hey, what did, Sally bring in for April with that strategy? She made 12 grand the month she launched it. What did she do in April? So the coach reaches out to get an update for me, and she said, oh, she has to wait until the end of April and then she's going to track it. And I immediately said, bad idea. Okay. So here's the deal. The first week in April, she could have said, okay, wow, why are we not trending where we were? Something's wrong. Let's fix it. She could also say, whoa, why this week are we up so much? What did we do? And how do we make sure we do more of that? So this is why I'm saying data directs you. And if it directs you 4 weeks too late, that could be a problem. So I immediately went back to the coach and said, all right, we need her tracking this every Friday. Every Friday, figure out what happened. And then we make a prediction. Why do we think it's up? Why do we think it's down? We become a detective. We are not going to stop until we know the reason for that. And we're going to continue to monitor it and change our behavior. And what happens a lot is you don't just duplicate your results from last month, they get better. So if you want to scale, if you want to outperform what you're currently doing, track your data and really become that detective who understands what's working and what's not. Number 3, avoiding industry complacency. So this is a really big one. So listen up. I do think it's important to be aware of what, the industry is saying, what's going on in your space, in your market, in your local community, nationwide, et cetera. All right. You might be reading articles. You might be hearing what's going on in the wedding industry or in the dog grooming space or whatever industry you're in. But that mindset can be very dangerous if you believe everything you hear. Okay. All it takes is one person to say, the industry has been down lately. We just haven't been seeing X, revenue since this is happening. And we've been hearing it a lot. And you start buying into something is down. What happens is you start behaving as if it's a lost cause. So your lack of activity, of action causes it to be true. So then you lean in to, it's just not a great time for this specific industry right now. And this could be huge. So here's an example of something that happened here. A friend of mine that has a similar business to Well-Oiled said to me, I think launching is just down for everybody. I've heard lots of people say that live launching is just not what it used to be. So we just did it and it was down, but that seems normal. So I'm not really going to do too many tweaks knowing that's what's happening. And I had to say to her out of love, like out of tough love, listen, our live launching is getting better and better because we're actively fixing it. We're actively working on it. So I don't believe live launching is dead. I believe the people that are seeing not great results are doing old strategies of live promotions, live campaigns, right? And when I said that to her, she really started to turn her activities around because she's like, wow, okay, so you're doing well. Let me try it, right? And she started to see her numbers going up. So don't have comfort in somebody saying, oh, your sale, your March Madness sale was down. So was ours. Totally normal, right? It's going to give you permission to start maybe slacking off, being not as diligent. And we don't want that. We want to we can hear that strategy, hear that advice, hear the data, and then test it yourself and play full out and see if you can beat the statistic in your industry. I don't want to be like everybody else in my industry. I want to be at the top of my industry. I want to be leading. Number 4, really making sure that you're changing your behavior through increased frequency of tracking. So when you commit to tracking data daily, weekly, monthly, you're actually going to start to notice a shift in your behavior. So the increased frequency, right, of engagement with your financials, with specific critical numbers you want to be tracking, right? All of a sudden, you're going to see these numbers and you're going to have this data and decide, what do I want to do with it? You're going to see patterns, identify opportunities for improvement, and you're going to be able to make changes that are actually impacting that bottom line. Now, it's about creating a culture within your business that you have a value, right, of data-driven decision making. So let's talk about what should you track. So number one, and this is like the big one, okay? Number one, we track our critical number. So it is one number associated with our best seller, which means it's our most profitable product, program, or service, okay? So we are tracking how many units sold of the best seller. That is our number one number. Now you might be thinking, Stacey, shouldn't it be revenue? Well, it kind of is, because if I'm trying to sell more of that thing, right, my revenue is going to grow. So I'm very crystal clear on the best seller. Number two, every department, so my marketing, my sales, my customer success, my operations department, all of them, the department alone has 3 to 5 big metrics that they are tracking that are in alignment with selling more of the critical number. Okay. So it's one company number, then you got 3 to 5 per department. And then we're going to trickle down one more time. And every person in that department has 3 to 5 that they own that help hit their 3 to 5 departmental numbers, right? That go towards the big number. And do you see how that alone creates an army of people helping increase the revenue in your business? I believe everybody in your company should be revenue generating. They either directly or indirectly make the company money. And if every one of them have these 3 to 5 metrics that help with the department's goals and the critical number, the best seller, right? Critical number, everybody will directly or indirectly actually help the company perform. Now, that might not be the norm in your business, but if you do it this way, that will start to change the game for you. So I would love to hear from you. I want you to comment below with a metric you are currently tracking that you think is really helping your business. Or if you're not tracking, it's okay. Trust me, we've all been there. What do you believe would be beneficial to you? And here's what I'll tell you. Even tracking something where you go 0, 0, 0. What's going to happen is it's going to make you move. Like, I'm sick of looking at 0 coming in every day. I'm on day 4 and I want that to be a 1 and then a 3 and then a 5, right? And start to scale it. So even tracking the lack of data, right? The lack of sales, the lack of whatever is hopefully going to get your butt moving in the right direction. Okay. Now, recently our Instagram account was gone for 8 days. We were just gone. And we started a new account. And I really wanted, we had 100,000 followers. So felt really humbling to start back at 0. But with the new account, I wanted it to grow. So you know what I did? I tracked it every single day, because if I want something to grow, I'm going to track. So here's the deal. Day 1, 3 followers. Yes, I said it, 3 followers. And one was my husband. Number 2, day 2, 89, 203, 251, 271. So I'm like, ooh, why did we only grow 20 yesterday? Okay, well, I didn't do this. Okay, I'm going to do more of that tomorrow. We went from 271 to 324. We had a good day. Then we went to 390, then 497, then 533. Man, then we jumped to 774, right? This is where I'm every single day I'm looking, what's happening? What did I do yesterday? What did I not do yesterday? Now, if I jumped on and I said 3, right? I would start to say to myself, I'm not doing enough. I need to be more creative. I need to be doing better, right? This is the power of data tracking. It will help you direct the activities, the behavior of what you're doing today, this week, this month, this year, etc. So by staying regularly updated on specific metrics that you need to be looking at, right? Working closely with a knowledgeable CPA who's proactive, right? Avoiding the trap of what the articles are saying, what the industry is saying, and actually increasing the frequency of your data tracking. Looking at it I said to somebody, you've got to look more. And she said, I'm scared. It's okay. Like, it's okay. But guess what? Being scared and just like burying your head in the sand is never helpful. So I know sometimes it might not be fun to look. It might make you nervous. It might make you scared, but that knowledge is power and you'll be able to do something. And you know what's cool? Sometimes it's not as bad as you think. You're actually thinking it's worse than it is. Now, some of you, it's worse than you realize. And you also need to use that as a wake-up call. All right. You will set yourself up by looking at this number. It'll teach you what to do. So it's not just about collecting the data. It's about using that data to inform your actions, to drive the business forward. So you need to change your behavior based on what the data is telling you, and the results will follow. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to get more videos for your small business. We're here to focus on helping you increase your profits while reducing your time. And if you're brand new to us on Instagram, go check out our Stacey Tuschl Instagram handle or our brand new handle where we're sharing tips and tools every day for small business owner at Well-Oiled Operations. I will see you there.